Welcome to week 5 in Counting the Omer. We are moving from the masculine side of the tree of life to the feminine, into the hood, sephira. Hood means glory or splendor. So this is an aspect of God. If we look at every sephirot in the tree of life, we need to see them as aspects of God, which we all have inside. And if you look into nature, you can find this glory and this splendor in everything that is. When you look into the sky at night and you see all those beautiful stars shining down on you, that's the splendor in the universe. When you look into the details of a flower, you can see the glory and the splendor in that flower. We are a part of this, and you as well have this splendor. This beauty is you, because you are one with God, you are one with the creation, you are of the creation. So you too have this aspect which is so full of glory. If there were no layers between your perception and the truth of who you are, you would have seen this. Every time you looked into the mirror, you would see your own beauty and glory and shining light. And every time you went into nature, you would have definitely seen all that everywhere. You would have looked at a spider web and seen it as this amazing, beautiful, splendor creation. We are a part of this web and this intelligence that is working through us. We are a part of nature. And we are a part of the universe. And right now we are moving towards a full moon. And there is so much guidance happening in my life right now from the spirit animals. This night I had such a beautiful dream about hare. There were many hares, like the rabbits, which are wild in the nature. And they were cuddling with me, and they were just so cute, and there was so much love in that meeting between me and those hares. In the beginning, I was a little bit cautious because I didn't want to scare them off. But then when I sat down and I just observed them and didn't force myself towards them or push myself in any ways towards them, they came to me and they were all cuddling with me, and even one of them were coming from behind, and suddenly it was quite big, obviously, because I felt how it was embracing me from behind. And then it took my hand. I don't know how that happened, but obviously this was like a humanized hair. It took my hand and it had this grip around my hand. It was such a beautiful feeling. And the hair symbolizes a new beginning, a spring. So it symbolizes this, or it's helping me to release the old so I can have this new beginning, move forward in my life. Allow the good to come in, allow this new beginning to happen in my life. And I went to the beach yesterday as well, and when I was lying there was this goose family coming towards me and my lover, and they were almost on our carpet, and we were observing them, and it was so beautiful to see how the masculine protective goose were just standing there, making sure that his family was safe. He didn't care less about eating. It was more important that his mate and his children were safe. So there were some children looking at them, watching them from a little distance, and he was so alert towards them. And it was just beautiful to watch how instincts are supporting the survival and how intelligent that is. And he didn't attack. He didn't make any sound. He was just there, very alert. And I know that if the children would come too close, he would definitely make a sound and start yelling at them. First, he would probably give them a warning through his voice, and then he would attack them. But towards us, sitting there, being in this peaceful state, this loving state, they were so close, and this male duck, he didn't see us as any threat. And when we let go of that guard, and when we allow ourselves to come into this state of peace and being one with nature, we are not a threat anymore to nature, to the animals, and they start coming into our lives as guides. But when we are separate from nature, which means, of course, we are separate from ourselves, we don't receive the medicine from the animals or the trees or the flowers. So every time an animal comes close to you, look into the meaning of that. Sense into, what do I see here? What are they doing? What is this animal's nature? Go out and read about it, because it's medicine for you. Animals has this own spirit. And sometimes our angels and our guides and helpers, they are using the animals to give us that medicine. You can also look into the element that animal is within. Is it like the duck? It's in the water and on earth, and it's flying. So it's a bird that's really is in all elements except fire. So it's swimming, and that's about creativity. And I also read that the feathers from the duck are used to be writing with, those old feather pens. So it's about communicating through writing, which I also took as a sign, because I know I'm supposed to write this book that I've started for a long time ago. And I have been questioning, when this counting is over, what you want me to do. And I think that's my answer. Then you sit down and write again. Put your energy in there. So Spirit has many beautiful ways to communicate with us. And today, in the day 29, we are receiving the Chesed from within, this beautiful river of love continuously flowing through us from within and from without. But that love and that river of love can be received in many different ways, and we need to open our eyes, open our heart, open our body and our cells in the body to receive those messages coming into us all the time. But if we are rushing from place to place and are completely lost in the doing, that's really hard. So then we miss all these opportunities all the time in receiving messages coming from God, coming from Spirit, coming from Mother. We are so one with Mother Earth that she's sending her animals towards us when she knows that we need support and medicine and love and messages. Sit with that for a while. See the splendor and the glory in that we are one with her. She feels us. She knows us. She knows exactly what we need, and she gives it to us when we need that. When I open my heart for that, I get into this state of humbleness. I feel so touched by this inner knowing that Mother Earth, the feminine aspect of God, she knows me so well. She feels me all the time. All I need to do is open up for that. And it feels so good to be felt like that, known like that, guided like that. So how could we end up being so separated from this? Well, we are, and that is what we need to let go of so we can move into a future where we are one with this. It's obvious that the earth needs us to wake up to her love, to her presence and her guidance. Because when we live in separation with her, we are destroying her. And in that way, we are, of course, destroying ourselves, the humankind. We are not really destroying her because she will find her balance. If we are too challenging for her, she will just complete us in one strike. No doubt. She is Kali, and she will kill us the moment this tips over to get too imbalanced. But she's trying the best she can to wake us up now. And there are so many people on the earth doing the same job, being on the same mission. And of course, there are so many people living still in this ignorance. So today I invite you to spend time in nature. Go out into nature and imagine that everything you see is a gift offered to you from Mother Earth and the godly aspect, the feminine godly aspect, and the fatherly, because the sun is there shining down giving his energy to her so she can grow and offer. Walk with humbleness in nature today. Walk with gratitude and trust that this is not something I'm making up. This is something that all natives, Americans knew, every tribe all over the earth have been living in oneness with the mother. And it's time now to remember that and to receive her animals as guides. Receive her flowers as guides and medicine. This reminds me about something that happened, I think it's about 6 months ago or something. I was having this infection in my throat, or I was suffering from having this feeling of a bad breath. And I was trying to figure out what to do and how to treat this. And for some reason, I've been remembering something that I read about before, this medicine coming from the trees, which it's the, some trees, they grow this kind of beard on them. It's called usnea in maybe Latin, I don't know, at least in Norwegian. And I've seen the same word in English, usnea. And I don't know, this was just in my awareness for a long time. And also during COVID, we did some investigation, and my ex, he found that this could be very helpful to restore the lungs if we got infected by COVID. But 6 months ago, I was, tapping into this inner knowing that I know is there, that I can go into the forest and find my own medicine when I need it. And I asked Mother Earth, if there is some medicine, can you please show me? And the moment I asked, I looked down, and this giant piece of this beard, coming from the tree, the usnea, this giant thing was just laying there directly in front of me. The tree had released it for me. So I picked it up and I went home and I made tea of that. It's better to put it on alcohol actually and let it rest for a while, but I felt it was better for me to boil it and drink it directly because I felt I needed it at that moment. If you put it on alcohol, you have to wait for a month or something. And then I also ordered something online which was already made. But this is how it is with medicine. And I also made another reflection yesterday. We have this flower which is called marikåpe in Norwegian, which is translated into English. It's the Mary's cloak in a way. And it's shaped in a way that when it rains, this drop stays there in the cup. It's so beautiful. So you can walk after a night with rain, and you walk by this plant, and there's this beautiful big drop in the center of the flower or the leaf. And suddenly yesterday I was thinking, wow, the drop the Christ oil that goes down from the pineal gland and to the end of the spine, and then it goes upwards. And if you don't know what I'm speaking about, I can share some videos with you if you're interested. Just comment on this video and I will share that. But the Christ oil moves, it is said, every month. I'm not sure about that, or if it moves at least twice a year. But every time this happens, I dream about Mary Magdalene. And I have really interesting experiences when this fluid is moving. It's extremely purging. It's purging out darkness from so many layers of my being. And it is said that this fluid it contains the essence of who we are. And then yesterday I realized that drop, and the Mary, the name of the plant, Mary, she holds this drop. And then in the Revelation, it's explained how when you reach this level of consciousness, you will meet the wife of the Lamb, which is Mary Magdalene, the wife of Yeshua. This is the Shiva and Shakti coming together, coming into oneness with each other. And this is how our ancestors have left wisdom within the words, within the names of the plants. There is so much wisdom out there that just goes by without us noticing it. There's another plant which I'm super interested in these days. It's in Norwegian it's called solhatt, which is a flower. What is it called again? Give me a second and I will check it out. I found it. It's Echinacea purpurea. That's the Latin word for it, I guess. It has this crown sticking up. So I looked into the meaning from the Native Americans. And that crown is, or this plant was called by the Native Americans, the king. And it reminds me very much of the pineal gland in many ways. And of course, it's very beneficial if you feel you're getting sick. It's very supportive to the immune system. But the Native Americans also use this to connect with spirit. The king. So this is how we get guided when we start listening. And we all have this ability to connect and become one with nature. But we kind of need to be in nature, open up for nature. Open the third eye, open the heart, and open the body. Otherwise, we will just go on living in our doing and being on this human experience, this collective human experience of being trapped in the material world, in separation. So this must be a wish coming from inside to connect deeper, to receive messages, to be guided, to see the wisdom and the intelligence in everything. So walk into nature today, and if you are in a town and you're far away from nature, buy yourself some flowers. Put them up in front of you and meditate on them. Be one with them. Ask the flowers, what's your wisdom? What is your spirit? What is your purpose? If I eat you or drink you or make tea of you or some sort of oil, how would this medicine help me? Most plants have this, either they are having this medicinal purpose or they are poisoned. So they are also this black and white, good or bad. So our instincts are super important if we are going to live like that, going out into nature and eat from nature. And that's also part of the spiritual journey. To purify our instincts, our intuition, so it's easy to know which one is good, which one is bad. But it still serves a purpose in nature. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It has its place. It's a reason it's there. It's just that we can't eat it or drink it without getting sick. So pay respect for everything that is, because it's all there for a reason. And this is how it is with the humans as well. Be humble towards everyone. Okay, I thank you for listening today, and may you receive the Chesed withinhood today. God's blessings and mercy and grace. Within you and without you, on the outside and the inside, as above, so below. Amen.